gets out of order. Then the third thing that happens, which is a very, very serious thing, which is very serious, very common in your country, is leukemia. And that takes place as a result of a very hectic spleen. Spleen in you is the speedometer. And when a person, say for example, our modern life is such, we sleep, we drink, first of all, nicely spoil our liver. See to it that it is completely spoiled. Then we take some drugs to sleep. Then we cannot get up in the morning because there are hangovers, naturally. So we get up about the time when the birds are about to retire, say about 9 o'clock or so. Then we somehow get into our clothes, if possible, and rush to the car, start driving. The wife brings the food, something like a sandwich or whatever it is, putting that in the mouth. We are driving. There's a jam on the road, so we are cursing everyone. And here we are eating food, we are cursing people, we are thinking about the office, all kinds of emergencies at the same time. At one emergency only, this poor spleen has to work so hard to produce the blood cells. And when you put so many emergencies on that, you can imagine the poor spleen, what can happen to it. It just goes, it doesn't know what to do, it becomes crazy. You are crazy and the spleen is crazy. And the parents who are like that give their trouble to their children, because they make their children very funny too. You must sit here, you must eat like this. Carpet is spoiled, now better clean it. The carpet is more important than the child. If the carpet is not cleaned out, then the parents will beat the child, do all kinds of things. Always make the child so tense that the child feels all the time edged up. He doesn't know what to do, you see, all the time. The poor spleen of a child is this thing. Even when the child is not born, the pregnant mothers are so upset all the time. With what are you upset? Oh, the milkman came and this happened and that happened. The telephone came at the same time and here it is, I had to receive somebody and there's a bill. All these modern things just make the women crazy worse than the men sometimes, because they can't bear it. And then at that time the child gets the problem. And that's how they are born with leukemia. Just imagine, it is such a simple thing to lead a life of simplicity. You need not be that complicated. What is the need to be that complicated? I don't understand. All these complications we human beings have made, isn't it? Like, now I'm wearing a sari, then I must have a matching blouse, I must have a matching shoe, I must have a matching purse, I must have my matching hair, matching eyebrows, matching everything. If it is not matching, then I'm nervous. All these stupid norms we have created just to make ourselves miserable for nothing at all. So the young people decided, get out of it. This is all nonsense. So let's have anti-culture. That's another extreme. Take drugs. Imagine, to compensate for this madness, take to another madness. Like one boy came to see me, and he was all smelling, had all lices in the head, with hair like that, son of a very rich man I knew about. Horrible, could not make him sit in the drawing room smelling like a dirty pig, I tell you. And I asked him, my child, because I knew the father very well, a very well-off man, as a managing director of a very big shipping company. I said, why are you like this? What's the matter with you? Why can't you be normal? He said, I'm trying to become primitive. I said, why? Because they are simple people. But I said, your brain is not simple. It is a modern brain. By growing hair like that and putting lices in your head, you don't become primitive. It is absolutely outside. This is not the way you are going to be a simple person. He was wearing pants with cuts in that and all that. I said, by this, how are you going to cut your brain, which is so modern, which is so complicated, which is thinking all the time about the future? This is all outside, don't you see this? And you have become so horrid that you cannot meet normal people at all. So I made him go into the bathroom, have a bath, I gave him a change and made him a proper person, and then I gave him a realization. Now he's a normal person. Given up all his drugs, everything, he's a normal man, behaving all right. But sometimes they come in a coma. And still with that mental projection that they have become primitive, they said, we are very happy. Let us die like this. They are waiting for their doomsday, most of them tell us. Oh, the doom has to come in any case. That will solve all our problem. Look at this. From this to that madness, I cannot understand. It's a very common theme these days, that the doomsday has to come and we are all going to be solved. You see, they are all going to be taken up like this and put in the God's kingdom because they have become primitive. This is the idea. There are some who believe that if they are preaching, if they are talking big about God, they will be there. Christ has said very clearly, you will be calling me Christ, Christ, and I will not know you. Do we think about why did he say so? So don't live in a mythical world. Come to reality and face it. That you are to be born again, that Kundalini has to be awakened, and that you have to feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost out of your head and out of your hands. This is the first time you feel the all-pervading power, as I told you yesterday. Now I met all kinds. So there is one fellow, very ego-oriented, came to me. He got realization, luckily somehow. His ego, the balloon went down and he got realization. I was amazed. How the divine is so anxious to give realization that this fellow came with such a big balloon, and how it has reduced. It reduced, really, I must say, he got realization. But then it came back again. Because it was just there for a while. Again it came back. So he says, Mother, why? You are the one who has to do it. I said, my son, you do it. I'll be very happy. Should I change my seat with you? I'll be very happy if you come and do it yourself. That's the best thing that you can do to me, is to do the job. But only thing, you will have to awaken the Kundalini of thousands of people at a time, which is like a mountain being lifted with a finger. That's one only thing you have to do. Secondly, you have to know all about it, and you have to tell people what it is, all the complications, all the decoding and everything. And you have to have tremendous patience with people who have this big balloon on their heads. So he sat down. He wouldn't accept it. I said, what I get out of it? Why do you feel so hurt if it is me? I don't know really even to handle a camera. I don't know so many things that you know. I don't know how to drive. I never feel hurt. I only know one little thing is how to raise Kundalini. Why should you be so much hurt about it? This is the thing that crucified Christ, the ego. They crucified, not only crucified him, they gave poisons and they tortured. Anybody who came with the truth had to be tortured, because everybody had such an ego, and a collective ego. Why blame the Romans and why blame them? Even today I find so many sitting like that before me. The same style of people who are crucified Christ. Now, so this is the kind of people who are very ego-oriented, and when the center works fast, the ego starts rising like a byproduct, as you see in the head, that yellow stuff, which is horrid. But when you start seeing it, you see the joke, that this is the one which makes us stupid. This is the thing which has really made us idiotic. Otherwise, we were normal people. And then you want to run away. Like one gentleman came to me and said, Mother, I just want to know one thing, but if it is true, don't tell me. I said, what is it? I said, what's the problem? He said, please tell me if I was Napoleon in last life. If I was, don't tell me, because I'll really collapse. He's a Frenchman. So I said, what makes you think that you were Napoleon? Because I'm so ego-oriented and I can draw very well, which he used to do. So was I Napoleon? I said, should I tell you? You were not. Thank God. Because I was thinking, if I was Napoleon, what will I do in Sahaja Yoga? I just cannot become spontaneous. because this ego will be coming like Napoleon's ego every time. And it's nowadays, once upon a time, Napoleon, who was supposed to be a hero, today is regarded as a curse on people. If you call somebody Napoleon, never call a Frenchman, because you'll have a black eye. I can tell you this one. Napoleon is the worst word for them. They don't like it. So this is what has come out of all this ego behavior, that people don't like it. What about Hitler? You talk about Hitler to a German, he says, don't talk, that was a big mistake on our part. What did Hitler do? The same thing. He pampered the ego of people, said, you are a special race with a special nose. So God is going to measure your nose and put you on a higher pedestal. Just imagine. Then why did God create all the rest of them? This kind of mental projection makes you feel higher, sometimes lower. All kinds of these mythical things are there. God has created you in sweet, beautiful varieties, because without variety there is no beauty. Imagine all of you looking like military bolts sitting down here. How will it look? You have to be people of variety. So God has created a beautiful variety. Enjoy that. Enjoy the integration of that variety. That is what one has to really enjoy, but I think is only possible when you get your realization. Before that, it's just talk, talk and talk.